Hi, you're with India Post Live, India's first online news conversation web TV. I'm Ishan Russell, and India Post Live is, of course, a forum for you to come in and participate. Use social media to get in touch with us. Hashtag India Post Live to your tweets, or you can use our Twitter handle, that's at India Post Live, or you can use Facebook to get in touch with us. We have a Facebook page called India Post Live. You can go ahead, like that page, comment on that wall over there. And in case you want to comment on our wall, we have it at indiapostlive.com, where you can watch this video live as we are talking right now. Or in case you're watching it later, there are other videos on demand as well. You can watch and comment. And in case you want to participate, be the expert or ask the experts a question, you're most welcome to do so. Just send us a request and we'll ensure that your voice is heard and you can come in even live via Skype or Google Hangout. So it's up to you to decide how to participate, and we'll for sure put your views out there. Today we're celebrating 8 years of Twitter. Yes, Twitter has turned 8 today, and it has really dynamically changed communication in this modern age, and we'll be talking about the impact of Twitter. A lot of fun things have happened on Twitter as well. It's really how it has affected our lives. We'll be putting together a little bit of a story about that as well. But first, let me introduce my panelists today. I have with us Vishal Sagar. He's the creative partner at Good, Bad and Weird. That's a social media company. Also with me is Navneet Kaushal. He's the CEO of Page Traffic. Thanks very much, guys, for coming in, and we'll be joined by a host of other social media experts from all across the world. And in case you want to come in, well, do send us a request and we'll for sure get you in on this show. So Vishal, I'll start with you. Twitter turns 8 today, and like 8 years ago, nobody had ever thought that we'd be talking about just 140 characters, and those 140 characters have really become defining for a generation now, haven't they?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's called microblogging site. So imagine, people who cannot blog, 140 characters for them is enough to express themselves. So that's a huge revolution that has happened. And the amount of tweets that are being generated each single day, the amount of communication that is being generated each single day is just humongous. And people just latch on to any opportunity to tweet. And they have made any event, anything into a phenomena. So that's...
All right, but Navneet, why has that changed? Is it the attitude of the people? Because, I mean, earlier, what I personally feel often is that people would put a lot of thought into what they would write. But now, have we come to a time where everybody just instantly wants to put their view out there?
See, the main explosion has been the mobile. Of course, Twitter with mobile is what has been the main reason. When we have mobile in our hand, a lot of people, we've been very active on Facebook, and that has opened. I mean, we have been much more social than we have been before. And I see that as a main thing where people would previously be very skeptical. I remember initially when it was launched, TechCrunch says that who would like to share the views publicly. I mean, the tweets are public, so it was something which people would see as a problem. But now everybody likes workplace now in a day when a selfie becomes a most tweeted image. So that shows that the people are actually opening up and trying to share more and more, and the fun is 140 characters. That's
all right. The fun. So the challenge is 140 characters.
Yes.
But in terms of how it was envisaged, I mean, you guys have really tracked this industry. So this is how Twitter was initially envisaged. I mean, what somebody had told me that it was initially thought of to be used by experts only in terms of putting out like a Yahoo Answers queries type thing, like what Quora is right now. But it really evolved from there on its own, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, when it started in March 2006, it was started as a SMS-based web portal, right? But then over the years, eventually, it kept evolving. So because it started from an SMS thing, the character limit was 140 because that's the limit that you get in an SMS, right? So that limit has not changed. Everything else about Twitter has changed. So it was never thought as what it has become today. It was started as a SMS service, but then it evolved gradually.
All right, and in terms of with popularity, how does Twitter compare to other services like, for example, Facebook's there, Google Plus is there, and there are a host of other social networking mediums, Reddit, and Pinterest, and Instagram. But how does Twitter compare to all these?
So there are around 500 million Twitter users right now. 400,000 users on an average are joining on a regular basis. It's right now the second most popular medium, as we saw after Facebook. Of course, G Plus, Google Plus has shown some.
But in terms of consistency of engagement, I believe Twitter beats Facebook by a little. I mean, in terms of just the number of updates that one does.
Yes. Again, the 140 characters.
Yeah.
So of course, it's easier, and it's easy to reach people. In Facebook, of course, there are limitations which doesn't have in Twitter. You could have a public account. I could read your account. So it's a lot of ease, functionality, and ease which is with Twitter which makes it that popular.
But what would be the next step in the evolution of Twitter? Or this is just it and then the brand can be extended into other things but not this kind of a model, can it?
I mean, that only time can tell. But yeah, Twitter is trying a lot of things. Like they have come up with wine videos. So that is something, that is one craze that is catching up in the West. We in India has not
The
seen
6-second videos.
The 6-second videos. So that is catching up like anything in the West. In India, we have only seen few good things coming up. People are still, you know, getting aware about wine and stuff. So I think that's probably things that they are experimenting with.
All right, so interesting. So now, so Twitter started with just 140 characters, words. Then the links, you could shorten the links and put them out there. Then you could attach pictures and show pictures, and now videos. So Twitter really is also becoming a full package, so to say, like what Facebook is it is Navneet?
Yes, because recently Twitter, previously advertising on Twitter was very expensive, which went down, and just a couple of days back, if you are advertising on Twitter, you can actually track your organic tweets as well. So that's one very big step we see in analytics, because for digital, analytics is important. If I can't measure something, I can't just spend money on that. So I know how many people are seeing my tweets. So that step is again seen as giving more values to brands, more values to advertisers. Still a little long way to go, but yes, that's a very, very good step.
All right. So does this game go? I mean, for an ordinary layperson, if he's just putting things out there, does he get enough response, or does he have to advertise? What is the model that one is supposed to use to popularize themselves on Twitter? So why didn't you start?
Actually, the thing is in Twitter, you have trending topics, right? So you can, I mean, the thing that people quite often they do, what they do is they pick up one hashtag or one trending topic and then they tweet about it, right? So that's something which is currently hot. So if you have tweeted something which is very funny, something which is very unique, people will start retweeting you. And if you have been consistent, Twitter needs consistency. You cannot be, okay, you are there for a day and then you're gone. It cannot happen like that. It is consistent effort, right? So if you have been consistent with good tweets and stuff like that, you might earn a lot of followers eventually. So that's how, I mean, for a layperson, that's how it works. Consistency, discipline is required.
All right, and not on Twitter, but on Google Hangout, we have a couple of people joining in. Mithali Sen Gupta joins us. She is a social media executive, and Sumit Ranjan is with us. He's a graphic designer. But Mithali, your views about 8 years of Twitter really has been a game changer, hasn't it?
It has been a game changer like anything I've ever seen, because of the fact that now most of the political game is played on Twitter now. People can directly talk to their political representatives. Then businesses are like going out of their, I don't know, it's just crazy like how businesses try to lure in people through Twitter. Having competitions, having everything on Twitter. People just start following them like crazy, and it's like the fan base. It's like fanboys are on Twitter. If you've got a brand that you want to affiliate with, Apple, they have fanboys like crazy on Twitter. There are Twitter fights that happen between them. So it's like Twitter is like a whole new world in itself.
Yes, Twitter certainly. I mean, I've faced a few trolls, so I know that Twitter fights do happen. But what we tried to do is how Twitter has changed our lives. So it's been 8 years of Twitter. So we've identified 8 ways in which Twitter has changed and affected our lives, and we put together a bit of a graphic for you. So let's play that out. All right, we just try to play that for you in a bit. But I'll also like to introduce Sumit Ranjan. He's a graphic designer, and Sumit. Sorry, yeah, it's there right now. So 8 things Twitter has taught you. Okay, how your pain, rants, protests, and basically anything that goes in your mind can be squeezed into 140 characters. So economy of words, and we Indians are not really known for that, but we learned that, didn't we, Vishal?
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah.
And I mean, in fact, you will see people who are not even using 140 characters and still expressing a lot.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one. That is number 1. Or what else has Twitter taught us? Number 2. How a breakup is not a breakup unless you publicize it on Twitter. So, I mean, that's the whole point, that you would even share the most intimate personal space. I mean, and Twitter has invaded that, hasn't it, Navneet?
Yes, with the recently, I mean, I agree, Twitter is one channel where people would be more public than the Facebook, and we see, of course, a lot of being celebrities doing most of these things on Twitter compared to Facebook. And yes, that's one way which, yes, that's our
So,
trend.
I mean, I think that's the easiest way to call off a relationship, just say that it's over on Twitter.
Yes.
All right, so what about the next one? Number 3. Let's talk about number 3. Number 3 is how your resignation need not be a 450-word letter, but just a 140-character tweet. So that's what the Rajan did. That so, and it's certainly becoming a trend in terms of the accepted term of communication. I mean, there was a time when an email wasn't accepted. You had to send a handwritten note in many government departments. Still, you have to do that. An email proposal is not enough. But even a tweet now is good enough, and it's valid enough in corporates. Vishal?
Yeah, it is true. I mean, like they are accepting tweets and stuff, and I mean, even if you see, Twitter has become an official announcement platform. So if a politician, if a celebrity has to announce, and if they have tweeted something about it on Twitter, it's there in the news that he or she has written this on Twitter. So Twitter has become an official platform.
Yeah, I mean, Prime Minister does not give interviews, but he puts everything out there on Twitter. Let's go to number 4. Alright, how too much information is nothing when it comes to Twitter. What you eat for dinner, when you brush your teeth, and who you went on a date with is extremely important for the world to know. What about number 5? How your opinion is the most important thing ever, even when it is about something you know nothing about. And that's a thing with Twitter, isn't it, Navneet? That at the end of the day, you might not know about it, but just in terms of endorsement, just because you like somebody, it doesn't make sense, does it? I mean, there's no method to the madness, is there?
I absolutely don't see any. Of course, there is no method. It's just that people, again, 140 characters, easy. People just want to be involved. It's something is trending. I will just jump in whether I know about a topic or not. So it's just like people do. It doesn't matter. Just people want to be noticed. So that's what.
All right, allowing one the space to get noticed. All right, let's move on to number 6 about what 8 things Twitter has taught us. And selfies, because not for a single moment think that you're any less important than Ellen DeGeneres, Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence, Brad Pitt, and Kevin Spacey all put together. So the selfie craze has been there. I mean, there's a very popular song going around these days called #selfie, and you might want to check that out. That's trending in a big way on YouTube as well. Let's move on to number 7. How the bigot, racist, sexist, narcissist in you is unleashed when it comes to Twitter. But this is a trend, and this is a bit of a worry also. The bullying that happens often online using Twitter, and that is becoming more of a common trend. And in this recently concluded election, we just saw that there was a lot of vitriolic atmosphere being created on Twitter, Navneet.
Yes, so this is of course with Twitter and any other social media channel we see a lot of these, but of course with Twitter it's very open. You could put a hashtag, you could start paying polling. We have seen a lot of these things, and Twitter has not been very strict with these. I mean, a lot of things have.
But why is that happening? The anonymity of a post is that what it is? Why? It seems that people just want to elicit reactions also very often. That is why they try to irk somebody. And is that good? I mean, in terms of interaction, in terms of communication, what would you say, Vishal?
I mean, I would say that this is because expressing your opinion has become so simple and so easy that most of the time, and like 95% of the times, we are just reacting. We're just reacting. I saw a tweet, I would just react. I'm not acting, I'm just reacting. And it is so simple for me to do that. So I think that's the big reason why it is so, we see so much of this stuff out there.
Okay. Let's move on to number 8, the final one in our list. And the 8th thing that Twitter has taught us is how Twitter gives you the platform to be the cheapest that you can ever be. Or the cheapest, sorry, not the cheapest, but the cheapest that you can ever be. So you can really, I mean, you can really say that you did not respond to my tweet if you have a girlfriend and she doesn't respond, doesn't retweet your tweet, well, you can publicize your breakup on Twitter as well. So those are the 8 things that Twitter has taught us. We put together another list of how 8 things on how Twitter has changed our life. Sumit is with us. Sumit, how has Twitter changed your life? Are you a Twitter addict?
Well, I am more of a Twitter. I follow people on Twitter. I'm not much of someone who would participate a lot or tweet a lot for various things. But I definitely like to start my day with, looking at the feeds every day. And it should include, I have customized my feeds in such a way that I get the most relevant information. So I don't miss out on news, I don't miss out on politics and whatever is happening in the business. So yeah, I mean, Twitter is now a most integral part. I don't have to go to the television or look at the newspaper or something. You just see the top trending topics, so you just see whatever coming in your feed, and you're good to go for a while.
All right, and that is something that I also personally have been really affected by the use of Twitter, that I don't really need to wait for the morning to read the newspaper to get something or to have access to a television. On my phone, in my newsfeed, everything is there in Twitter, and you know the sources coming. If the Prime Minister tweets out something, you would notice. So that certainly has changed in terms of a news consumption thanks to Twitter as well.
Yeah, I agree on that. I mean, there are a lot of things. For just a funny example, if sometime I feel that maybe the earth shook a bit or the chair shook a bit, the first thing I go is check on the Twitter.
Yeah.
So is there been a earthquake? So the things trend fastest on internet, and that things helps a lot.
Yeah.
So that we have seen. I mean, with the Twitter, you get breaking news. Of course, I could see. I mean, that's the fastest way. And of course, for consumption news or any sort of breaking news or information, I would still myself go. First thing I use on my phone is Twitter.
All right. So what do? You reach out into your pocket, you take out the device, and you access. And Twitter, of course, has become that medium for us. We also put another list together with the number 8 because Twitter turns 8 today, and that is how Twitter has really changed our lives. So let's put that list out for you. Sorry, 8 things you need to know about Twitter. So, Twitter was launched on this date in 2006, only it was called Twitter with no vowels. While the average religious leader can expect 1 retweet for every 500 followers, the average musician only sees 1 retweet for every 30,000 followers. So you know that as far as God is concerned, he's certainly more popular than music on Twitter. Lady Gaga, Justin Bieber and Katy Perry have more Twitter followers than the entire populations of Germany, Turkey, South Africa, Canada, Argentina and Egypt combined. So, I mean, in terms of a nation, there is a whole other nation online. The most number of tweets published by a Twitter user is 6.9 million. So, this person has really single-handedly helped Twitter across multi-million tweets. The top brand followed on Twitter with 40 million followers is YouTube. Which is rather ironic because YouTube is a Google company on Twitter and it has the most. But Twitter was founded and was for the first 3 years as a company, Twitter made a total of $0 in revenues, and now that story has certainly changed. So you have to perhaps invest in a brand for some time to make it last on the internet. Tweets like "I'm having lunch" became known as pointless babbles. Research showed that about 40% of these tweets are in this category. So mindless babble might be floating around a lot on Twitter, but there is a lot more. All right, and we also did a bit of a little video for you as far as celebrating the 8 years of Twitter. So let's play that out as well.
The minister commenting on raves, like raves are being caused because of mobile phones and all.
मनमोहन सिंह is a gay. मनमोहन सिंह is a gay. राहुल गांधी बहुत इंटेलिजेंट है, पप्पू है अपना.
Aloknath.
LGBT?
8 years, and Twitter is the digital Beverly Hills today. Everybody wants to be there. All the top people are already there.
Poonam Pandey.
The nation wants to know.
All right, so that was people from our office who obviously use a lot of social media, who use a lot of Twitter at India Post Live, and you can use Twitter to get in touch with us. Just hashtag India Post Live to your tweets, or use our Twitter handle at India Post Live, and we'll for sure put your views even on air, no matter what they are. Just not all the mindless babble, just a little bit of it, if you permit that. But Mithali, it certainly has influenced every sphere of public life, and it has become the medium of communication for most global leaders, hasn't it? From Barack Obama to Narendra Modi.
Yeah, that's true. The thing is, like, earlier it used to be just people-centric. Twitter used to be like Barack Obama and Mr. Modi, and a lot of people like Katy Perry, Justin Bieber. But now it's more into organization-centric as well. Now organizations have come into play. Like NASA has its own Twitter, NSA has its own Twitter, CIA. Everybody is there because they want to be heard and they want to talk to people and, you know, make a better image out of themselves. That's what Twitter does. It makes or breaks an image at an instant.
All right, and let's talk about some images that have been broken. Any come to mind? I mean, somebody who had a very harrowing time on Twitter and I mean, I know for a fact that like Priyanka Chopra had a very tough time on Reddit with that AMA. So on Twitter, is anybody? I mean, Shashi Tharoor, for example, I think lost his job over a tweet. But there have been instances in the past where Twitter has not been that favorable also to many.
Yes, absolutely. There has been a lot of incidences when people have lost job because just they did a wrong tweet or a racist tweet. So there has been famous.
Yeah, there was one particular incident that comes to my mind was this female officer from some PR company. She was off to Africa.
Yes.
She tweeted that I'm going to Africa. I hope I don't come back with an HIV. And that went viral.
And I remember I think she was
She was in the
traveling.
flight, yeah, so her phone was off. When she landed,
She had lost
her
her
world
job.
had changed. Her world had totally changed. So, I mean, in just a flight of say 3 to 4 hours, her life completely changed. She had to, she
by
was
the time
That
fired.
was one
and
of the
everything,
famous one, right?
She was fired, she was called a racist, she was
Yeah.
called...
Company disowned her, right? right.
So, I was like,
So, it's very easy to put your views out there, but in case you aren't very careful with your views, you never know what might come around back to you. On that note, we'll call it a wrap on this one. But final question to you all: as far as the one thing that Twitter stand out for you in the past 8 years, I'll start with my guest on Google Hangout. Mithali, what about you? What was the one thing that defined Twitter for you for the past 8 years?
It's about meeting people. It's about creating connections.
All right, meeting people and creating connection. What about you, Sumit?
Well, it's more about kind of stalking people, and so I think there's one best way where you can look into the life of some celebrities where you really don't want to know what don't want to get into too much information, but you still want to know what's happening in their life, what they're doing and all. And I think Twitter is the best place where a stalker can be.
All right, so a bit of voyeurism also associated with Twitter. What about you guys, Vishal?
For me, it is infinite information storehouse. There's so much information, live news feeds, celebrities, paparazzi, and people sharing links, their opinions, how do they think, like on a certain topic. I can think of how many ways of approaching a topic, probably 3 or 4 times, but here I am with people, probably a million of them, coming up with different opinions. That just opens up my mind like anything.
All right, so anything could come from anywhere.
Exactly.
What about you, Navneet?
For me, I would agree with him, most of it, but for me, it also serves as a very good search engine for me, a search for any type of information. Again, all the information for breaking news. So for me, it's the first place if I have to look for any information, somebody would have tweeted about it or something. So in 140 words, you could get a lot of things.
Yeah.
140 characters. Speaks
All right,
about
so
it.
in 140 characters, what do you like about it? Do write into us. On that note, we'll wrap it up. Mithali and Sumit, thanks very much for coming in and sharing your views about Twitter turning 8. And thanks very much, guys, Navneet and Vishal, for sharing your opinion as far as Twitter is concerned. So happy birthday, Twitter. It's been 8 years, 8 glorious years. We are also, of course, on the same platform as you. And in case you, the viewer, want to tweet out to us, well, you're most welcome to do so. But we're not biased only towards Twitter. You can even come in and using Facebook and even our very own website. You can popularize that as well, called IndiaPostLive.com. We'll call it a wrap. Here's wishing Twitter a very happy birthday. Thanks so much for watching.